The auctions are here! The auctions are here! The auction... I probably just broke everybody's eardrums. The auctions are arriving in World of Tanks Blitz. In fact, they might already be here for a lot of people watching today's video. If we take a look at the news tab, we can see that Wargaming is selling over 100 tanks. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. You better hope you saved up gold, and if you didn't, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good tanks, I would assume, in the auction. Maybe some new vehicles, which I'm hoping. But yeah, let's actually read what their news article says. Ladies and gentlemen, let the auction begin! For the first time ever, it's happening right in the game. This is your chance to expand your collection with rare vehicles at great prices. We'll have to see what those great prices are. Don't miss out. Head to the event screen and claim your dream tanks before they are sold out. The auction takes place right in the garage from March 14th through April 17th. That means this auction is over a month long. You can purchase rare, collector, and premium tanks here. Bidding takes place according to Dutch auction rules. Prices decrease, but the number of lots is limited. That means you snooze, you lose. New lots open daily every 8 hours. The price drops, and after 24 hours, any unsold tanks are removed. Yes, you heard that correctly. So in other words, you have 24 hours to get your hands on the auction tank that you might want, or it's gone. Now, I will be making updated videos every single day on the vehicles that are in the auction and the prices that Wargaming's asking, but you're gonna have to pay attention, because if you miss this content, well, I guess you won't know if it's a good deal or not. We can see some of the vehicles which are going to be sold, and even though they aren't out yet, I can tell you what would be a decent deal for these vehicles. Any tier 10, 17,000 gold and less is alright. Super Conqueror, I think, is worth 17,000 to 18,000 gold easily. If it's less than 17k gold, I'd recommend to consider picking this up. Kampfpanzer 50 ton, I would rank at the same level. It's an incredibly strong medium, and it kind of has everything going for it. So I'd say, yeah, about 17 to 16,000 gold as well. Decent deal. The Cobra is one of my favorite tier 9s. It's got a Hesh firing gun with 400 damage per shot base, 500 with the high explosive. It's got gun depression, but it's not the best tank. I would say in the average player's hands, it's probably pretty mediocre. It is a tier 9. Most tier 9s usually go from around 12,000 to 10,000 gold. I would say the Cobra is worth about 12 to 10,000, honestly. It's a fun take, and depending on what playstyle you're looking for, it could check those boxes. So if it's anything less than 12,000 gold, I think it's an alright deal. Finishing off, we have the Dracula and the Boschotian Barask. Alright, well, let's start off with the Dracula. This tier 7 medium is known for its speed, and its speed. That's really about it. I don't think there's anything else people really know it for. It's fast. It's a CDC in tier 7. It has decent damage per shot and solid levels of pen, but really it's just a speedy boy. How much would I recommend to get a Dracula for? I think 6,000 gold is the maximum I would recommend to spend on this tank, because you have to remember, it's a tier 7. If you're spending more than 6,000 gold on a Dracula, you might as well just get a tier 8 at that point. You can probably get a really good tier 8 as well. So keep in mind that it is still a tier 7, and I feel like if you're going to spend that much gold, more than 6,000, last time Wargaming sold the Dracula in auctions, it was 10k and it sold out. So I don't know. I wouldn't really buy it unless it was 6,000 or less. We have the Boschotian Barask. Tier 8s usually go for around 8,000 to 10,000 gold, depending on how good they are. But judging that both the T-77 and Barask have been sold for around 8,500 gold, I would say a good deal for this tank is 7,000 gold. Around there, I think, is a decent price tag. Anything less than 7k, and I think that's a good deal. So not too bad at all. The Barask is, after all, the #1 performing medium in the game, and it is an absolutely amazing tank. But that's not all. If we make our way over to Dibcord, we can see that there's another batch of vehicles which we already have news on. So what are we looking at? Well, we have the Chieftain Mark 6. I would say the Chieftain is worth 16,000 gold. 16 to 17,000, just like the other tier 10s. So if it's 16k gold, decent deal if that's the vehicle you're looking for. Chimera has been sold multiple times for 8,000 gold. I would say 6,000 to 7,000 is an alright price tag for the Chimera. T-28 Defender is a rather mediocre tank. It's not bad, and it does actually have a pretty good gun. Unfortunately, it's kind of slow, and there are definitely better tanks in the current meta. I would say 6 to 5,000 gold for a T28 Defender is alright. 1357 is an absolute blast, but it's not a very effective tank, and it is a tier 7. I would say 4,000 gold to 3,000 gold for a 1357 is a decent deal. The M60, it's alright, but I think the M48 Patton kind of outclasses it. The M60 also has the lowest credit coefficient in tier 10, period. Believe it or not, it actually has a terrible credit coefficient. So, I'd say 14 to 15,000 gold, consider picking up the M60. Anything more than that, I really just wouldn't recommend it. The Senlac is a mediocre tier 8 French light tank, which I would consider a worse FV301. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. I would say 6,000 gold at the max. 5,000 gold is where I would recommend to consider picking it up. The Caliban is a vehicle that is just a 183 in tier 8. It's a fun tank. Gun sucks, but you can nuke people. It has no armor, it has no mobility, and yeah, so if you're wanting fun, it's a fun tank. If you're looking to do well, don't get it. I would say the Caliban is worth around 6,000 to 7,000 gold. GSOR 1008, absolutely incredible vehicle. DPM is fantastic. It's got a Hesh-firing gun with solid mobility, gun depression. Its armor is terrible, but it does have all those other mechanics going for it, which allows it to be insanely dangerous. I would say the GSOR is worth around 7,000 to 6,000 gold. I think that'd be a fair price tag. AMX 30 Proto is a tier 9 French medium. It's a pretty solid one, but it is a bit outdated. Doesn't have much premium pen, which is a bit of a downside in the current meta. I would say the Lorraine 40 ton is, or not Lorraine 40 ton, the AMX 30 is worth about 10 to 9,000 gold. Maybe even 8,000. Yeah, I'd say 8 to 9,000 gold is a decent price tag for that vehicle. Lorraine 40 ton has been sold a lot of times. It's alright, but there's definitely a lot of better options available. I would say Lorraine is worth about 5 to 6,000 gold. Scorpion G, it's a super popular tank, but it's just a worse SU-130PM in my opinion. Camo is very cool that it has, though. I would say Scorpion G is worth 6,000-ish gold, somewhere around that ballpark. Lycan, it has been given away many times for free. It's an alright vehicle, 10 degrees of gun depression, 400 alpha, decent armor. It's kind of like an IS-3 in tier 7. It's a cool tank, it's solid, but I wouldn't spend more than 4,000 gold on it, personally. I don't think it's worth more than 4,000 gold. The FE217 Badger, tier 10 British tank destroyer. Incredibly fun, super high DPM, great gun depression, and fantastic frontal armor. Unfortunately, its traverse speed is absolutely awful. The Badger is still a very good tank. I would say 16 to 15,000 gold for a Badger is a decent deal. It's a little bit less effective than the Chieftain Mark 6 Super Conqueror or Kampfpanzer, but it is still a really good vehicle, and if Wargaming ever comes to their senses and buffs the traverse speed a little bit, I think it'll be great. I can't believe they're putting the FCM 50 ton in auctions. Maybe it's just filler. Either way, don't buy it. That's my opinion. Would I recommend to buy it for an amount of gold? Yeah, 1,000 gold. It's just mid. It'll be cheap. I can tell you it will be cheap. It'll probably be the cheapest tank out of all the tier 8s that are sold unless something like the T95E2 comes out. But that doesn't mean it's good. Just because you're spending less money does not mean it's good. I would not recommend to get the FCM. That's my personal opinion. The Object 25 to you, it's a very brain-dead vehicle if you're not super skilled in the game, or you just don't want to try. It's a solid choice. It's basically an IS-7 with even more troll armor in tier 8. So, very fun tank. I would say it does get boring pretty quick, though. Overall, 5,000 to 5,500 gold. And the reason why is because they've sold it so many times, and at this point, there are definitely vehicles I feel like are a little better. The K2 is a great example. SU-130PM, which, as I said, is a better Scorpion G, is incredible. I think it's absolutely incredible. To get your hands on the SU-130, I would say 6,000 is a pretty decent price tag that I'd be willing to pay for the vehicle. But that is the auction tanks that we currently have information on. We have some other information to divulge. Blitz news from RU Discord. Tomorrow, a 2-week event will begin where you need to complete battle missions. Rewards include resources, customization, and 6 cats in boxes with a pass. You can also get 2 tanks. We'll have to see exactly what goes on there. On the same day, a tank auction will start for the first time. We already went over that. Today is the last day of 10 versus 10. Boss starts tomorrow. March 14th to 16th, Blitzmasters. Yeah, don't care. On Monday, everyone will receive a reward chain, which can only be completed using cats in boxes. At the same time, you'll get the chance to earn 3 more cats in a damage-based quest. Next Friday will be the last opportunity to earn 5 more cats for winning battles in Tier 10. In the final days of the month, expect various sales and discounts on different items. And we can see exactly what that reward should be, obviously. The Hellcat, the Super Hellcat. So, yes, you'll be able to get your hands on a Super Hellcat. Looks like a legendary camo for the Super Hellcat and a legendary camo for the Hellcat, paired with a customization container, some avatars, and a bunny for some reason. Either way, that's about as special as it gets. We can also see there's some Steam DLCs on sale, 122 TM for $10. That's actually not bad. You also have the T28 HTC, okay, and Chi-Nu-Kai Fast Progress Pack. 65 cents for 7 days of premium 3 garage slots. Honestly, I'd recommend to pick this up. That's like a really good deal. The other ones are meh. Definitely meh. I would say the 122 TM's decent. Actually, you know what? A T28 HTC for $4, that's really good. I wouldn't recommend to get the Chi-Nu-Kai, but I'd definitely consider picking up that HTC. That's a super cheap deal. I might have to make a video on that. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the auctions, and I will keep you guys posted with everything you need to know starting later. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.